We've all been told that being responsible with money means playing it safe. It's almost ingrained in us. Insurance? Absolutely. Bank accounts? Check. A diversified portfolio? Of course. But here's the thing. What feels like the responsible thing to do could actually be setting you up for failure in the long run. Think about it. You might be doing everything you're supposed to, but is it working? Is your money growing? Or are you just staying comfortable while missing out on real wealth-building opportunities? What if I told you that everything you think about being financially responsible might be completely backwards? Let's dive in. 1. The responsibly risky safety net, insurance. Insurance. It's something we all rely on, right? And for good reason. It provides peace of mind. Whether it's health, auto, or life insurance, we feel like we're covered. That sense of security is comforting. But here's the hard truth. Insurance, especially overinsurance, can actually become a crutch that stops you from making better financial decisions. Think about this. You've just bought a shiny new car and you're so proud of it. What do? You get the best insurance coverage. I'll be responsible, you think, and protect this investment. But what does that really mean? All it's doing is inflating your expenses and keeping you locked into a cycle of paying premiums that are only increasing over time. Sure, you're covered, but is it worth the price? And more importantly, is that money working for you elsewhere? Ever pause to think about how much you're paying in premiums that could be used to build a solid emergency fund or invest it into assets that could grow over time? Here's the kicker. By constantly upgrading your coverage, you might be inflating your lifestyle, not necessarily your wealth. It's hard to shake the feeling that if you didn't have insurance, you'd be left exposed, right? But this is exactly the illusion of safety that's actually holding you back. If you're too reliant on insurance, you might be letting fear guide your decisions instead of focusing on real, strategic financial growth. The truth is, money that's tied up in insurance premiums could be used in more productive ways. Pause for a second and think, could your responsibility be costing you more than you realize? 2. The bank trap, sitting on too much cash. Here's a scenario that most of us can relate to. You've been told to keep a cushion of cash in your savings account. Maybe it's 3 months of expenses. Maybe it's 6, whatever it is. You've diligently put that money aside. You've done the responsible thing, right? But here's where things get tricky. Cash sitting in your bank account is actually a silent wealth killer. Yes, I'm talking about the kind of cash that's sitting in your savings account doing absolutely nothing. It might feel like the right thing to do, keeping your emergency fund topped off, saving for future expenses. But here's the reality. Cash doesn't grow. And every year inflation is chipping away at its value. Imagine having $5,000 saved today. In 5 years, that $5,000 is going to be worth significantly less. You're effectively losing money just by keeping it in the bank. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You're probably not being as responsible as you think by keeping your cash so safe. That security blanket might feel warm, but in the long run, it's costing you opportunity. By keeping your money in low-interest savings accounts or under your mattress, you're not only losing purchasing power, you're also missing out on the chance to invest and grow your wealth through compounding. Ask yourself, how much are you really losing by not putting that cash to work? And more importantly, how long are you willing to sit on the sidelines, letting inflation take its toll? 3. The portfolio mistake, over-diversification. All right, let's talk about your investments. Maybe you've read the books, watched the videos, and now you've created a diversified portfolio. A little bit in stocks, a little bit in bonds, maybe some in real estate. Hey, you've covered all the bases, right? Here's the reality. Over-diversification is killing your potential. You probably think that diversifying all over the place is the ultimate way to hedge risk. Spread your investments around, and you're safe, right? But here's where it gets uncomfortable. The more you diversify, the more you dilute your returns. Picture this. Instead of taking a big bet on one strong investment that could potentially yield massive returns, you're spreading your money across dozens of mediocre investments. What you end up with isn't a balanced portfolio. It's a portfolio that's just average across the board. Why? Because diversification is an easy way to avoid making hard choices. It's safer to throw money into a bunch of things rather than trust your judgment in making a strong, concentrated investment. But over time, this only leads to missed opportunities. Imagine you had invested your money in one great company, one that you researched, understood, and believed in, instead of hedging your bets across the board. What if you focused your efforts on something that could grow exponentially? We often get caught up in the idea that diversification will save us, but we forget that it's the best investments, the ones you really believe in, that bring the biggest rewards. If you're over-diversifying, you're missing the chance to double down on what's working. It's time to ask, are you spreading your investments too thin to truly build wealth? Let's pause again. Think back to your bank accounts, your insurance policies, your investment choices. How many of these responsible decisions have you made because they felt safe? Take a second and reflect. What's it costing you to stay comfortable? The truth is, we often do what feels right in the moment, but the longer we play it safe, the more we miss out. The illusion of control, banking on too much stability. We all crave control, right? We want to feel like we have a grip on our finances, on our future, the feeling of security that comes with stable income. Insurance coverage and cash savings gives us peace of mind. But this desire for control is one of the biggest traps we fall into. Let me explain. We're taught to avoid risk, to hedge our bets, to protect ourselves. But in doing so, we often forget that real control comes from building systems that work for us, systems that put us in charge of our time, our money, and our freedom. By focusing only on what feels safe, you're actually giving up the most important thing: leverage. True financial control comes from the ability to take calculated risks, to invest in things that can generate income. It's about building wealth through systems, whether it's creating multiple income streams or using smart leverage to increase your returns. Security isn't the goal. Real financial freedom is. And the only way to get there is by thinking long-term, by strategically putting your money to work, not just protecting it from risk. So here's where we land. It's time to rethink your idea of financial responsibility. Responsibility isn't about being cautious all the time. It's about strategic thinking, long-term vision, and understanding that true wealth comes from calculated risks. It's about taking control of your money, not just protecting it. If you're just playing it safe, you're missing out. It's time to make bold moves, but in a calm, controlled way. Think of it like this: smart risk is the real path to wealth. It's about using your money to build systems that work for you, giving you more time, more freedom, and more control over your life. You don't need to rely on outdated systems like insurance overkill, massive cash savings, or a poorly diversified portfolio. Instead, shift your mindset to building wealth strategically. It's about investing in your future, not just protecting it. If this video made you realize that you've been playing it too safe, I've got something that will blow your mind. Watch. Most people misunderstand what affording actually means to learn why the way you think about money could be keeping you from reaching your financial goals. Make sure to check it out. It's the perfect follow-up to get you on the right track. See you in the next one.